It's wonderful Christmas time, and I do have something special for you. It's a treat. It's a Czech song called Co je láska, which could be translated, if you had the imagination, from Czech to English as what is love. But last time I said that every time is already kind of, in the past. What is love is obviously even more in the past, and this is an old song, incredibly one. I think it was recorded in 1979. It was released in 1980, at least the pressing, the single that I have at home is from 1980, and it was recorded in 1979, which makes it kind of easy to record, which was a pleasant surprise, because, I always say that it proved to be a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. Not this time. This was an easy song to record, I guess, because of the techniques they were using. The bass is all DI, and that's it. There are a couple of synth sounds, but the first one sounds the lead sound, the lead synth, sounds a bit like the one that was used in Telstar, that nobody really knows what it was, Univox. I used some kind of a generic setting on a Minimoog, fake Minimoog software recreation. And for the rest, really, the early synthesizers didn't really have a lot to tweak. So I used a lot of generic settings, and it worked pretty well. There is a clean guitar, a very clean, muffled drum kit. The most difficult for me was definitely the vocal track. When he sang, he could hit incredible heights, but at the same time, this song really touches the minimal, the lowest border of my vocal range, and I kept singing Duše má je čistý list, and then I realized that it's actually čistý list. Pretty difficult, and I kept re-recording it over and over again, but I did it. I'm so proud of myself.
Přiletěl jsem k vám. Ty jsi první, koho tady znám. Duše má je čistý list, nevím, co je nenávist a co je láska. Často slýchám o ní písně znít. Ten ji ztratil, ten chce novou mít. Je to vůně nebo zář, pověz, ty přec pravdu znáš, co je to láska. Kde se vlastně ukrývá a kam chodí spát. Přinesl jí déšť či vodopád. Když se nikdo nedívá, zkouším na zem psát. Ta dvě slova lásky, že mám rád. Je to lůže nebo pouhý stín. Sám se pravdu asi nedozvím. Jediná si koho znám, pusťte se tě proto ptám. Co je to láska? Co je to láska? Co je to láska? Co je to láska?
And here come the good news. Firstly, like I said, it's Christmas, and I feel like giving gifts to everyone. So my gift for you is that this song will be available on Patreon, as all my songs, but this one will be cheaper than that. How cool is that? Because why not? Anyway, If you want to join my Patreon, which I highly recommend, because there will be more songs, that's another of my Christmas treats. There will be more songs by Petr Novák. I'm recording a whole EP of Czech songs. And they will be $1 each. So you should definitely consider that. My wife set a good example and she joined my Patreon. There she is. She made this lovely name tag for herself. So I'm putting her on the wall of sound where you can be as well, you know. All you have to do is $1 a month. It's cheaper than a cappuccino, right? Right? I notice how people always apologize on YouTube. Sorry for my bad English, you know, I'm Greek. Why should you apologize? I mean, I know my English is not 100%. No one expects you to be proficient. The teacher of mine once told me that, actually, you do sound quite posh, you know. And my classmates always used to make fun of me because I had a Hungarian accent. What does it even sound like? Well, back to recording. Since I realized how well it fits me, the late 70s and early 80s, I'm gonna record another song very soon. Originally it was a 1970s pop ballad, but then it was re-recorded, covered by a Czech artist in the 90s, so I'm planning something like a fusion of the very, very early disco sound and the very, very late Euro disco sound. Stay tuned, follow my Facebook, or don't, find me on Instagram, subscribe to me, like the video, write me a letter, tattoo my name wherever you want, and yeah, see you in a month. Until then, take care and listen to good music. Like my music, I mean, obviously. There's one more thing I wanted to speak about before I say farewell, and that's the chord progression in the song, where it goes from G major to E minor, A major, and then C, and F sharp major, and back to D. C itself sounds weird in the key of D, because C is usually not in the key of D. When I play C to F, or C to G, or C to A minor. Sometimes you can even go from C to E minor. It's all very common progressions, but when you go from C to F sharp minor, it's kind of surprising, something weird is going on. When you hit the F sharp, you are actually following tritones, and that's something which was completely forbidden back in the times of classical music. If you show this to Mozart, he would be furious, because you weren't allowed to do this. And you can't really hear it in the song because it fits there so well. Why is it that it fits so well? Because there's a very cleverly written melody, and the C works as a substitute of the E minor, and the F sharp minor sounds like works as a substitute of A major. They sound similar because they share 2 out of 3 notes. It doesn't sound that ugly if you put it in the context of the whole song, because it's just so amazingly written. Yeah, I never noticed that. I never knew how clever it was before I started studying music theory. I didn't know that ugly sounds, ugly tunes, ugly melodies were actually prohibited for Mozart. Poor guy. Well, that's it, yeah. Thanks for your attention. If there was any, Merry Christmas.